How long does this run? I wonder if we should
That's an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
When you rewind it.
Nope, that's good. No, it's fine.
You'll just look at Morgan if that's okay.
What's that?
Just look at Morgan and
Okay.
it'll be okay. All right, Morgan, you ready?
We're good? Okay.
We're rolling?
Let's look at me. Try to forget the camera's there.
All right.
Can I get your first and last name and spell the last name for us?
It's Robert Trudell, Trudell.
Okay. What got you interested in videotaping Border Patrol checkpoints?
I video mapped the road. I started doing that after first I had started off taping table tennis tournaments. I had a lot of equipment. I decided to just videotape the roadways and do like GPS mapping and stuff just a little before Google had started. And then I had noticed that people were interested in the times when I went through Border Patrol checkpoints.
What is it about the checkpoints that you think gets people's attention? Why would people be interested in seeing that?
Well, I think, well, everybody has to go through those, traveling through the southern states and in the areas that I have been going through. And I think there's just all different types, different viewpoints on the story, and I try to get as many viewpoints as I can and try to understand those.
Your Yahoo page has gotten a lot of response and a lot of attention. Why do you think people are so interested in that topic?
I think, like I said, a lot of people get stopped there. I had noticed there's a lot of people who are here legally, and they'll that are foreigners that'll get stopped and maybe questioned more. And then there's a lot of people from Phoenix going back and forth to San Diego. I see a lot of people getting stopped for drug violations and people with medical marijuana. The guy at this stop got busted for medical marijuana when the dog couldn't find anything in my vehicle.
So you have a Yahoo page now. YouTube page. Tell me how popular it's become and how these videos, how you've uploaded so many videos to it.
It seems like after this event, I got a lot more attention on thing. I had been trying to. A lot of times when you go through the checkpoints, the agents are interested in you rolling your windows down. A lot of times I've gone through, when my window didn't work at all, and some coworkers and I decided it'd be interesting if somebody broke the window open. So I was trying to get them to break the window open for a few months, and finally on this stop here, I had quit trying, and then they ended up breaking it open. And it seems like a lot of people are find that kind of exciting, and also a violation of the Fourth Amendment rights.
When you started going through, do you cooperate with the agents, and how do you decide what you're going to do when you go through?
A lot of people think I'm not cooperating. When I think I'm cooperating. Here I followed all the orders that they gave me. You're not required to do what agents request. You're just required to do what they order, and I tried to follow all the orders they give me and cooperate that way. Some people think remaining silent isn't cooperating, but I think sometimes the more information you give them, it just kind of bogs them down the less information, and nobody has to really say anything to these people in the first place. So I just kind of did like a step-by-step process to kind of figure out what I was able to do, and then I guess kind of got bolder as I went along.
Mm-hmm. What was going on in this stop? Describe what led to it and then what ended up happening.
I was on my way to film a table tennis tournament in Laguna Woods. I was leaving from Yuma, Arizona, and usually I would have more cameras outside the vehicle. This time I was just saving my battery power to go film another event. Here I just drove up and then left the windows up. I remained silent, and when I came up to the stop, the agent motioned, he wanted me to put the window down, and I didn't do that. Then he took a stop stick and put it in front of my tire, and it just directed me not to move. After that, they called some other agents out, and I had some time, so I was taking some pictures. I was going to film just people at the tournament, so I had my camera ready. And also, this was the first time I had gone through this Pine Valley stop, so I expected maybe they didn't know me here, so maybe they'd give me a harder time or something like this stuff.
What ended up happening?
After that, then they called a dog out. Dog circled the car and didn't detect anything on my car, so then they went back and found another vehicle, some guy with 42 grams of medical marijuana, and brought him over to the side. After a while, they called another agent out with a taser to watch me while I was sitting there. Then they called a San Diego County Sheriff's Office out, and he was trying to talk to me, but I didn't do anything because they can't really make you give them an ID or something unless they had pulled you over for some reason. And these stops are suspicionless stops, so he really had no reason to talk to me, so he left the scene. Then the one agent in charge had motioned me over to the secondary inspection area. I had been trying to get an invitation to that secondary inspection area for quite a while. And so I went over there, and they broke into the vehicle then and arrested me.
When you say broke into the vehicle, what did they do?
They smashed the window open with the automatic center punch, and opened doors, and they searched the vehicle. The agent who broke the window told the other people, that they didn't have, or he kind of prompted them that they didn't have a warrant to search the vehicle. People were searching the trunk and going through everything, and he kind of pushed to close it, and they said they were doing a weapons search.
They were searching you for weapons?
That's what they said they were doing. I had kind of researched that too. When they're doing the weapons search, I think that's supposed to be like in the immediate grab range of where the weapons might be, and maybe the trunk area of the vehicle isn't really a weapons range either.
How has your view of these Border Patrol checkpoints changed since you have videotaped so many?
I think that, well, I learned a lot, just not from myself, but from other people who were commenting on the checkpoint. So I got maybe a better practice in exercising my rights, more confidence, I think, in doing that. I think I just kind of feel a little bolder going through them than most people. I notice more people are fearful when they go through these checkpoints, and don't really know what's going to happen. I think the first time I went through, when I decided I wasn't going to say anything, I handed my passport. I was fearful the first time I did that, because I didn't really know what's going to happen. But as I kind of went through step by step, I learned what they can do, what they can't do. At this checkpoint, I think the supervisors of the people here, gave them, a reprimand. Somebody said they got a reprimand for doing that, and then they're also liable for the financial damages they caused.
Do you think they're overstepping their authority?
In a lot of cases, I think they are. I learned that the Supreme Court said they could do these for immigration purposes, but I think I heard the Border Patrol's main mission now is for anti-terrorism. So each one of these agents has radiation detectors on there, and I saw. I kind of learned. So one agent, scanning every vehicle as they're going through with a radiation detector, and these guys have their radiation detectors on their belts as they go through, and I think they're more interested in that than the original approval for getting checking people for immigration. And they're also doing more things with the drugs than they might have done in the early 70s when these began.
You think most people out there would be as they're the so is he placing you under arrest?
I guess so. He's putting me in handcuffs, and I think just before he broke the window, I didn't actually hear what he said, but I saw in another view where he's kind of saying that I'm not complying with an order. I don't know what the order was, and like 8 hours after they had detained me, they read me that was the charge, but I don't know what the order was or when they gave it. Or
were you ever prosecuted for anything?
No, they seized everything I owned and then held all my camera equipment and computer, my business phone and everything for just indefinitely until they were going to have a court case. So I didn't know how long they were going to hold this stuff. So I bought new stuff, and I'll send them the bill for that as well. So
they took all your stuff, took you out of the car, put you in cuffs.
Held me like most of 10 hours in handcuffs, and then some undercover agents, or just plain clothes agents, came and drove me to El Cajon and just set me on foot, and the car was impounded, and so then they just held my stuff for 21 days until they finally. I don't know exactly what they did. I think they were trying to get a warrant to look at the media so they could, show that they were doing something right here.
Do you think they were doing? You think they were doing it right?
I think the general opinion is no.
Are you a drug smuggler?
No.
Are you a terrorist?
No.
Why do you think they went to such lengths?
I think they were confused. I had a lot of things in the car that I was using for filming. I was going to film some more of a documentary I was doing on Border Patrol checkpoints, and just kind of adding different characters and stuff, and they were finding stuff in the trunk that had to deal with that, and they were, I think, confused with that, and maybe just trying to do a deeper search of, what I was up to. But I think it was more they were, kind of overstepping their authority. They weren't. They really shouldn't have done that. They were, I think, maybe trying to convince me to be more compliant in their eyes.
Do you think there's more of an awareness out there about what's going on at these checkpoints because of videos like yours, and because more people are having to go through?
Yeah, I think so. I guess I kind of got some stepping stones from other people. They had gone through some of the agents. They had like 17 agents, giving their testimony while I was sitting handcuffed in the back room. Were wondering if I was the Steven Anderson or something who had gone through, and they actually a Yuma County sheriff had broken into his car when he had refused to go to a secondary inspection area.
So when you're not doing what they want you to do, are you being rude to them, or tell me what your strategy is for your behavior?
No, I try to be polite. Most of the times I'm just trying to entertain them. I think here I was just quiet, and maybe they didn't know what to do. And I was taking pictures of them while they're going through. I was planning to make like a collage in my garage with just pictures of the scene.
Mm-hmm. What's your overall goal for these videos and your YouTube site?
I think I just, I like to overcome myths. For this, I was, I think it was, I kind of wanted to be respected as a photojournalist is kind of what got me into this. I noticed I run into a lot of problems, no matter where I'm filming or whom I'm filming. There's some people who have a problem with that. So I'm trying to do, I guess, be a more respected photojournalist, do a better job at that, and a lot of the things I do on the YouTube is kind of for stock footage and or to cover events and things like this. Here I was had initially started making a documentary film for the Yuma Film Festival. I was in a photography class, and I was also in a class at ASU for their internet and web development, and I made a poster talking about making a documentary on this, so I decided I'd actually do it.
What's been the response to these videos?
I get all different sides. I think, like I said, it seems like everybody's kind of interested in this topic from different sides, and I like to get the understanding of how those people feel. They get both left and right and middle, and just people all around the world are kind of interested in this topic. It seems like these checkpoints similar to this are set up in different countries by our military and other militaries that kind of pattern their the way these are run.
You think if more people had to go through these checkpoints that they would still be as popular as far as if you talk to Joe, Sally, USA, they would say Border Patrol checkpoints are good because we have to keep illegal immigrants out and they're checking for terrorists. If they had to go through them as often as people in southern Arizona did, do you think they'd be as popular?
I think what happens is most people who go through them don't even notice they're going through them, or they'll go through, they didn't notice it happens. I think it's when people start stumbling in there or the agents start asking questions that the people don't really understand, or why are they asking that question, that they start getting annoyed. I noticed I went through with some Native Americans who were upset. They're asking them if they're Americans, or that they really shouldn't have that, or a lot of people getting, maybe that's not, people have a different car that's not theirs, and then they get pulled over because a drug dog that also checks for concealed people pulls them over to the side, and they rummage through all their stuff.
Do you have an opinion about whether you support these checkpoints or not now?
I think the way they're run, they're not being run the way it should be. They're overstepping their bounds the way they're being run. I try not to be too strong on my opinion, just because I'm more interested in filming them. I like to stand back a little bit, but I do recognize make a lot of errors that they do make, and a lot of errors that the public makes, a lot of just consenting to searches when they're not required, and people feeling bad because they answered a question that they didn't really have to answer. If they kept quiet or said something, or give these people less information, they wouldn't feel so bad about it.
How long ago was this shoot?
That was the 31st of May of 2013.
and all of your equipment was confiscated. Did you get that equipment back?
Yeah, I got that back on the 21st of June of that year.
The same year, so it didn't take too long.
No, I talked with their paralegal in San Isidro, and he suggested they'd have something done in 4 days or be able to get my stuff, and then they're just gonna drag it on. I guess this Campo Border Patrol Station hadn't filed a report for a while. I don't know whatever got filed.
Could you think of anything that you had done wrong that would require you to be arrested there?
Well, they said for not complying with an order. Whatever that order was, I don't know what it was. Then later when I reviewed the video, I saw the guy kind of, whisper, or, just saying, I'm not complying with an order. I don't know if his order was to roll the window down, but they can't order me to consent to a search, and I was leaving the window up as part of not consenting to a sniff search, which is if they're smelling in the car, I don't see a reason why I have to let them do that without any suspicion or probable cause.
What do you hope people who view your YouTube channel will get out of it?
What I try to do is I try to be, actually kind of find people. I film lots of stuff, and I try to target specific people, specific people's interests. I don't want them to come to the channel to find something that's not interesting for them. I want like a specific topic that directly relates to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like I say, I go around and film a lot of different places, and I'll label the different things, and then if they find something of interest, then sometimes I like to see what they found, and then maybe cover that in a deeper sense. I guess I just did it in more depth.
Anything you can think of that I left out? I think we covered pretty much everything. Just stay there for a second. We'll just get a couple of cutaways. So the more and more the Border Patrol is getting accused of overstepping their boundaries on these checkpoints. And case in point, you're a ex-military, retired military, and you don't look like a drug smuggler. You don't look like an illegal immigrant, and yet your vehicle's broken into. You think you're kind of an example of how the Border Patrol may be overstepping its boundaries?
Well, I think they tried to use me as an example to have, convince more people to comply. I think maybe their breaking entry was not to because of me, but because they want to affect more people and maybe get me to, kind of kowtow to what they're doing.
You haven't heard any sense that they were embarrassed by this. You think they're using it as a example of, look, comply with us,
or this is what's going to happen.
Wow.
And that's kind of the feeling I got as I was going through the process.
I think the federal law is written so that they can set these up within 100 miles of the border all over the country, which is sort of scary that there's that much authority.
One thing I did learn from this too, that I see a lot of people drawing maps with this 100-mile radius, but Michigan, in their constitution back in the 1930s, banned suspicionless stops like this, so they can't, which is in their entire state is surrounded by that 100-mile limit, and the Border Patrol can't set up these type of stops in Michigan.
Suspicionless stops. What does that mean?
It means they stop everybody with no reason at all other than this immigration inspection stop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't inspect the car, they stop every vehicle are allowed to.
They don't need a suspicious reason to...
But then they look for anything they can to prosecute people with.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Okay, it's an interesting topic.
You done with this one here?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
We're gonna head down, talk to some people in Vaca
Oh, okay.
tomorrow morning. And,
You want to drive through one of these with me?
There you go. I went ahead and stopped it.
do we? You know what? Let me talk to my bosses, and the story's not going to air right away. It could be a month. It could be a couple of months. But let me talk to them. But it would probably be interesting to go through one with you to experience that. I just need to get there okay first. But we could come back down, definitely. That'd be pretty cool.
Do they know you at all the ones in Arizona? Like the one up north here?
The one up, north. Usually I'll just, But if I was in somebody else's car too.
Yeah. Let me find out. You know, like you've gone through sort of with a neutral point of view, but you push it a little bit. I just have to find out how much our bosses are comfortable with us pushing it. But that would be really interesting. I grew up next to the Border Patrol checkpoint in southern Arizona, so I've had it as part of my life and my family's life for our entire lives. It just seems like to them it's been sort of second nature. But it does seem like it's been ramped up a little bit in the last couple of years.
I think I first started going through them in New Mexico.
Yeah, we had one right next to my school growing up in southern Arizona before they moved it up the freeway. Now it's right next to my mom's ranch. So during the real heavy times of illegal immigration, we got all the overflow. You know, they just go around it. Now there's not so much anymore. But the communities down there are really sort of fed up with it. I'll tell you what, it takes balls to do what you're doing. Because you're right. I mean, I get nervous. I would be nervous to do that. And I am, you know, I've been a journalist for 20 years, and we sort of aren't on the good side of a lot of law enforcement agencies, but I would certainly be nervous to do that. That's something else. I teach media law at ASU, and some of the things we do are First Amendment. Talk a lot about First Amendment. So I'm going to pull your YouTube channel up either this week or next week when I'm talking to my students about it and talk about not only the Fourth Amendment issue, but you had your camera equipment confiscated, which is a First Amendment issue. Because you have a YouTube channel, you're arguably a journalist, and for the purposes under the law.
Well, they took the media for quite a while too, so I was lost out on that media revenue for that period of time, which I'm going to give them a bill for that as well. As well as the event I was supposed to cover.
Oh yeah.
So.
Wow. Well, thanks for inviting us down. I'll keep in touch. I'll let you know about the driving through idea, and then I'll definitely let you know when we have an air date.
Okay.
And if you hear of anything else exciting on the issue, or you videotape
there was somebody who was arrested for 10 days that was interested in talking to you around.
Oh, really?
If you wanted
Yeah.
to talk with him. He's the JT. He gave me his folder. He was gonna come by today and talk to you too if you wanted to. He's right in town here, not too far away. But they I guess took him and took all his stuff, and then somebody robbed his house while he was in the ice for a while. So.
And is he a citizen? Or
He's
a legal
he's a legal immigrant from what is it? Something with an M, Macomb, Mexico or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
We've
I
got
didn't
it.
know if you were interested in talking with him. We could.
Do you have his phone number?
I didn't have his phone number. I could easily just come by.
Just come by. We've got to get into Tucson. We're interviewing an attorney on this, but
I'll try to get some more contact.
yeah.
Just down there.
Let me see if I have my business card in there. You can,
Give it to him.
yeah. If I don't, I'll just write everything down. Let me see. I
Okay.
think I have a couple in his car.